my recipe for my favorite chocolate chip cookies. These are ooey gooey and melt in your mouth, and it's got this soft and tender crumb. If you like cookies that are thick and chewy and soft and tender, this is the cookie for you. And not only that, I'm sharing with you my favorite secrets and top tips to ensure a most perfect cookie experience. It's got aged dough, brown butter, and puddles of luxurious melted chocolate. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up or let me know in the comments below. And subscribe to my channel if you aren't already to be updated for new episodes. So let's get started. I am just melting 2 sticks of unsalted butter in my pot here, going low and slow. Here we are, and it's starting to get really toasty and wonderfully sweet and aromatic and nutty. My first tip is to cream together the butter and the sugars. As you see here, I have a higher proportion of brown to white, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. And you want to cream those for 3 to 5 minutes. To my butter sugar mixture, I want to sprinkle in a hit of instant espresso powder and some fine salt. Now, without these two, your cookies will tend to taste flat. They won't make your cookies taste salty or like coffee, but rather the salt balances out the sweetness and the coffee complements the chocolate that we're going to add in later. And along with the coffee and the salt, a little glug of vanilla extract. Next, in go my eggs, and they're room temperature 1 at a time, and I have an extra yolk with a whole egg. And the reason I'm doing all of these is my tip number 3. The higher ratio of brown sugar will further soften the cookies over time as they absorb atmospheric moisture. And the cornstarch I'll add to my dry ingredients later has a softening aspect, while the extra yolk in here will inject an extra richness, and these 3 components will weave into a super soft, thick and chewy cookie. Now that my first bowl of wet ingredients has properly emulsified, we can focus on our dry ingredient bowl. And so in here I have some weighed out unbleached flour. And ideally when you bake, you want everything to be accurate. So if you can, weigh everything out on a digital scale. I highly recommend it. And now we're gonna add in that cornstarch I was talking about. I can't speak today. And then I have some baking soda, which will help create a tender cookie even more so. And you just wanna sift or whisk that together and set it aside. Just as with any other baked good, you want to sprinkle in your dry ingredients in portions. So I like to do it in separate thirds, and I like to give it a help out with my spatula. This way you don't overwhelm the wet ingredients with the dry, and the dry has time to absorb properly into the wet ingredients. Next, in go the chocolate, and you want to fold this in by hand. And I actually prefer bittersweet chocolate chunks made from a bar, but as always, just use whatever you have or you like, or whatever's on sale or accessible to you. And today I just have some semi-sweet chocolate chips. So completely up to you. And I'm just going to add in almost an entire bag of this stuff. That way you get these melty, luxurious puddles of chocolate when you bite into a warm chocolate chip cookie. It's the best ever. My final secret or tip I have to share is to chill your dough for at least 3 days. This allows your first dough to relax and the flavors to meld and redistribute while the flour gets absorbed into the liquid, kind of like when I was saying about not overwhelming your wet with your dry and vice versa. And this allows it to kind of hydrate the dry ingredients, and it makes for a chewy and moist cookie. And if you want to know more, be sure to check out my site, thesquishymonster.com. That's where you'll find this recipe plus 250 more others to print or save. Fast forward 3 days later, and I've scooped out 2 ounces of my room temperature dough, and my oven is now preheating. For me, the golden magical number is 8 minutes in the oven, and they come out gooey, melt in your mouth delicious. But keep in mind that every oven is different, so it's a good practice to calibrate your oven properly and to invest in a digital thermometer for your oven. Just like it's indispensable with a digital scale, I highly recommend it. And now all I'm doing is landing some flaked sea salt on the tops and some extra chocolate, which will really send these over the edge and make them look gourmet too. And I'll show you exactly what they look like when they come out of the oven.